So yeah, Zektas Nazal. I wanted just to do this. It's only going to be one of each run out of, the many I really should be doing just for my own sake, but we're going to still hit quick play just to see what the backstory is. 7th Curse character exclusive random item. 7th Curse will make things a bit better, but on Zektas Nazal, it's definitely going to be weighed. What's the word for it? Oh my goodness, I'm losing my words. Anyway, it's gonna be worse to have Zektast and any other, and 7th Curse than 7th Curse and any god, if that makes any sense. Anywho, random item stats on. And as we get into Zektast 7th Curse character exclusive random item Haru here, and I need to adjust my levels quickly, but yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's not so bad here, the past 24... I was supposed to do a stream today. It did not happen, at least relative to when this video should be coming out. Knowledge, Dexterity, Light, second, Charisma, maybe. But really just 5 Reason and 6 Stamina, because I don't really increase Knowledge and Dexterity as Haru. And yeah, I didn't do this Nuzlocke stream, which should be instead like about, 16 hours-ish from now. And that'll be that, not really much else to say. Otherwise, I can still talk about game dev stuff. I might as well. I forgot to use the library notes. Well, yeah, I should have used the library notes earlier, but I lost some HP unnecessarily there. But let me actually say, go into comma space BUT space. Yeah, I was just doing other stuff game dev, specifically figuring out how to make a character that works off stacks. I did it before, but I need to do it because again, if I have arms, coma, Monto, bulletin, and footage. I'm moving from RPG Maker MV to MZ, so when I'm working on characters, hopefully I should have something else. I could just show you what this character, she was on MV, but I want to do it in MZ instead. Let me see, History Club? No, Cigarette Case. We do have a 7th Curse going on, and we can sell the library notes immediately. We do get a brick as well, and the cigarettes cost 5 funds. I guess we'll wait for a second. I can smoke 1 pack now to top myself off. But because we used Expel Evil, I should have healed stamina in the bath, if I were to kind of optimize this a little bit. At least I think I should, if it is optimization. Anywho, I need to visit the forest twice as well. But I have not. If I do not run into a single encounter during Bulletin, I'm going to be quite sad. But yeah, but other than that, I usually start off with the character that, if you're trying to introduce a character that works off stacks is not the initial character you should probably be playing with. That's why I did have another 3 main characters. One is just regular spells and whatnot. Jack of all trades, or Jessie of all trades. I don't know how to add a female touch to that phrase, but. You get the point. Am I going to die here immediately, by the way? I really hope I don't. I didn't visit the police station as well, so I'm just taking super extra damage. So, hospital, seaside, and I don't remember our things. We can check the police station later. We shouldn't really need to arrest anyone, but we are dying here, so let's prepare twice for funds. This chair is actually missing parts, but it's fine. I'll work with what I got. If we run out of funds, we'll trade off stamina, and I'm not going to rest. I shouldn't do this. I've been proven wrong before, but I'm going to bet against myself this time, because at least Isugi-san saved us. I don't know if he can appear... I mean, I'm pretty sure he can appear twice in a run, but it doesn't happen frequently, for whatever reason, so 7 strength? Nope. Exactly cut arm sinew, too, and we haven't run into a single encounter, let me remind everyone, so... This run is starting off on a not... out of my control thingamajiggy. I was supposed to sell the painkillers. Do they sell for anything? No. That's even worse, actually. So, all I've done is kind of waste Doom here. I'm actually going to trade that. Essentially trade the injury for a curse. That's not great either because we're on Zektast, but this cut arm sinew is going to hurt us. So, we need to get rid of it. And away I go. But yeah, a character that just does anything they want. Usually with spells, you could say skills instead. Or any other thing, but if we're sticking with base, if as an introductory character to any game, they shouldn't have wild mechanics like trading HP to deal damage or do stuff. Or, working with stacks of a certain resource, whatever that resource may be. Or, interacting with a a different mechanic other than attacking, defending, and healing, which is normally what you're comfortable or familiar with in RPGs. So, but yeah, for me specifically, it's a character that works off of stacks that I'm kind of not reforming, but transferring the mechanics over because of the. I mentioned this before, but we'll say it again because it's part of the discussion here. I can try to get out in 3 kicks. Will I hit 3 kicks? Let's find out. We do. But yeah, a character that works off stacks, transferring that, and I worked with plugins, different plugins then. It should be pretty much the same. We had the force notes. But since you want to actually program it in, maybe there's small little tweaks and changes here and there that do not allow me to do the same. But fortunately, I think these plugins are the same, but so far. But I do have to go through testing because I've made mistakes too. Like, oops, I didn't put a number. My keyboard, the keyboard that I'm working with primarily, is kind of not working as well. So there's nothing I can do at the moment. So sometimes I click a number and it doesn't actually get clicked in, and then I'm like, why did this fail? Thankfully, if you're doing what am I supposed to case? What am I supposed to? Well, what's the best way to say it as we go Akamanto now? We're gonna lose stats, but if we're in Zectast, it's fine for the moment. But yeah, if you're running test cases or you're testing frequently and thoroughly, then yes, you should be able to catch any bugs that may happen to you if you're developing a game. But different people test differently. Some people like to test after doing certain milestones in terms of, I want to work on 5% of this part of the game or the whole game if you're working on a bigger game. You might want to, every time you do something, in my case, I like every time I make a skill, make a character, even just implement something into the game, I like to immediately look at it and check it out. But again, the level of comfort in which, you want to just keep on implementing things before testing everything is up to you. I like to do things a lot sooner, usually, than later. And again, it depends on what exactly you're testing. In my case, it's skills. So I don't like to make like 5 skills and then test those 5 in a row. I like to make 1, test 1, because you never know what you're gonna, maybe like a flash of inspiration or something doesn't click in terms of like, you make a character and you're like, this doesn't feel good. I want to change it completely, as opposed to you're gonna test 5 things and then the worst, usually in my case, the worst case is you run into, that you run into is you make 5 things and you just have to erase 5 things in a row and you're like, well, I just wasted time making 5 when I could have caught this sooner at like the first 2 skills I made or something like that. This is a very specific example, but I hope that puts things into perspective. I might as well just gobble these painkillers. Now, whether or not we can do anything else, not really. We might as well brace again. We can go for a dodge, but I don't want to do that either. So, yeah. Now we gamble on 3 out of 4. 70, I keep forgetting the odds here. I don't remember the odds. I don't normally like to memorize things. I like to learn the process of doing so. In this case, math. So I could just remember what 80% of... Well, I know what 80% of 80% is. That's 64 because I'm calculating that in my head. But what I'm trying to say is I don't remember it like you would remember a lot of the times tables. Now, you are remembering a lot of things. Like if it's the times tables, you just remember that. But if it's something a bit more... How should I... What's the word for it? A bit more... I think we have to increase knowledge, don't we? We do. Well, too late now. Also, we need to rest twice, so we don't die to stamina loss. But if it's like 80% of 80% of 80% in which you miss, or you need to hit binomial distribution probability, which is probably harder for the average human being to calculate than it is to, do 80% of 80% of 80%, which is about 51.6%, if I'm calculating that correctly, because that's just multiplication onto multiplication. Whereas binomial distribution probability, you need to kind of consider all probabilities, and that's more than, if human beings can on average remember about, I didn't look at the handcuffs, did I? No, I didn't. This might be a bit troublesome. We can do a thing. I don't want to, but I forgot about the handcuffs because I was speaking nonstop, so... We can guarantee a kick, at least, but this is not optimal, in my opinion. But that's what happens when you don't have handcuffs. I could also throw the brick, or I should have actually attacked with the brick, is what I'm supposed to say here. But if that doesn't allow me, if that doesn't allow me to do a thing... I mean, if I do this, I can still fit in a reason trade for stamina. And we have one pack of cigarettes, so I don't mind doing that for the moment, because we'll essentially be equal on stamina and reason doing this. But I did hit the brick, right? Please tell me I did. Now the next question is how many of these kicks I hit. I could do brick attacks instead, but gambling on 85% is not to my leisure, is not something I'm comfortable with. That was the wrong phrase. Oh my goodness. But if I keep missing these kicks, it would not be great either. But yeah, having the handcuff would have helped me out immensely here. Is this 10 damage, right? 10 damage? Yeah, 10 damage. So we should be okay here. I'll prepare the brick just in case I calculated wrong, and away we go. Like, I've already made 2 mistakes that I can remember. One is not grabbing the handcuffs, which I can use later, so it's not going to be terrible, but also need decreased knowledge. If I get the knowledge perk, that would be great, but we'll see what happens with my body. As we take arms here, yeah. Now we should rest twice again, because we're in pain. And yeah, that's not going to be great for my thingamajiggy, but what else can I do, right? I forgot what I had. I think I actually have, like, seaside investigations instead. Doesn't really matter. Because if I die like this, there are worse mistakes for me to correct in this run. So, we'll take 2 stamina damage in the face. Hopefully we're on Timeline B arms, as I have 50%, 80% kicks here. And, you know, Gambler's Fallacy, we should hit all 4 of these. Nope. The answer to that question is no. Well, I should trade off Reason here. I'm not going to, because what I'm actually going to do is visit the tree for stamina. Double Branded it shouldn't stack. I don't think Branded stacks, so we'll live with it. And yeah, not really much else to say. Just need to make sure I increase my knowledge by 1. That way we have the full amount of Doom, if I'm scared about that. Alternatively, like, if I'm really scared about my stamina, if and when I level up, especially if I do it before the end of arms here, I should increase... I can recover stamina instead, but in the interest of having 100% Doom to work with, I'm going to increase my knowledge by 1. These kicks are 75%, which, you know, isn't that far off from 80%, but it's not 80%, so shrug! But as I lose 1 stat everywhere, we'll lose 2 funds as well. If we get out of funds, we'll trade off Doom, I guess. We have a healthy amount of Doom-ish. And I would like this semi-auto. That way I can feel a lot more comfortable. Now, will I be able to survive the boss? I think so. If we just go all out here, but we'll see. We'll take some Doom here. For all intents and purposes, I should rest, but we'll see. No, didn't I already rest? I should rest now then. I should have rested now. Well, we'll take 15 experience. We're not likely to level up. We could, but I'm just going to assume I'm not going to level up. And yeah, we're going to rest so that we can benefit as much as possible. If I want Tireless in the other 2 mysteries, and I don't want to rest in the other 2 mysteries, I should rest now. And that's all I have to say. That's the end of the sentence. We're on Timeline A, thankfully, but I didn't know that. Either way, I need the HP anyways as we get time skip. So, yeah, let's see if we can increase our knowledge. The answer is kind of no, but that CQC training will help because we have the semi-auto. And I really regret not optimizing the basically getting handcuffs, but that's me. Footage coma. Let's hope we don't have the thing. We actually have coma, so that's a hospital investigation, so we can switch this really quickly. It'll still be positive for me, because we're visiting this place at least 3 times, so we're still going to save 1 Doom by setting it there. It's just that I could have saved more. Anywho. With the semi-auto, we're now super fast, so long as nothing really weird, like we don't have a full forest investigation here, in the forest phase, like 11 investigations, then we will have enough cigarettes for the end, which I don't remember my second encounter, so whoops. Well, let's see what happens here. 3 stamina damage. This is something else, but I can get a point of knowledge here, but I don't think that's going to happen, so instead we'll take 3 stamina damage. That's the one I remember because that's the one I do the most. I could have visited the mansion, decided not to. Oh, we'll see. Maybe I'm just hoping for good RNG here. I don't know how many people do the side quest. I don't remember, but we'll see if we get lucky enough to hit 50-50. This is pretty much 50-50. Unless I do this, I guess. Then we have... I mean, it's near 50-50 still, but hopefully we need some good luck to make up for our mistakes earlier, and that definitely helps, but that's probably the big risk, or the biggest... Or the bigger risk. Not gonna say the biggest, because maybe I'll do something crazy later, especially if I'm going to die. Objectively, it would be the biggest gamble to, like, dodge 3 times. But for now, that's the biggest gamble I think I've taken. Aside from all the kicks I've done, but those have not been on point. Doom we can kind of trade off here. Do I want to really, though? I think we do. We'll throw something if it'll help us. Now, if I threw the branch and the brick, we would have been out in one turn. Maybe I should have option selected that, but keeping them for a future encounter isn't bad either. I don't get too strong because Zectas, that makes me feel bad, but at least we have 12 damage on demand. Now, I would like to get out of this forest soon. I don't remember if we have Takshisan, so I guess we'll see. But we also need to pray because our Doom is getting a bit high. That's all I can say for myself. We get 3 strength here, but not what I needed. It's appreciated, though. After knowledge and dexterity, it's much appreciated. Now, if I get flashbacks or 2 dexterity decreasing status effects, or even 2 knowledge decreasing status effects, I'm dead. But that's the risk you work with when you're playing on Zectast. So, yeah, Coma's our last mystery. I didn't check I was supposed to check the lighthouse. I did not, but we can trade off 1 fund for the moment. We should have enough cigarettes for this, and even if we run into nicotine withdrawal, we should be okay. Now, the game is not giving me the stats I want, but we'll see if that actually matters. The bad news is we'll still have 7 strength, but we don't have a strength check. Never mind. Yeah, that's right. I didn't have a strength check in the lighthouse anyway. I don't remember which is which, but that's not what I wanted. It's what we're gonna get. And for all intents and purposes, we could have survived. We could have definitely survived this run. Now it's uncertain because, well, I've done what I've done. Thankfully, throw damage doesn't fluctuate, but that's not always a positive thing. Anywho, let's improvise here. So, yeah, first of all, not bathing immediately after getting not using the library notes, the library notes immediately at the beginning of the run was my first, more minor mistake. Aside from, any subjective mistakes like, hey, Jordan, you should actually have played with knowledge or dexterity or perception instead. Heck, maybe even ally attack, but if we're trying to go at least what I'm aware of, yeah, not using the library notes immediately, I would have extra HP, which could have meant I'd made different choices because I'm like, oh, I'm a bit healthier here, I don't need to rest, which would have saved Doom. Second is not using the police station immediately. Or at least before Akamanto, because I didn't grab the handcuffs. But that's a me thing, because I'm like, I was talking about game dev, and I was like, oh yeah, and then obviously, let's not mince words here, I was not as focused, so I was not paying attention to the fact that I did not visited the police station yet. On top of the mistake that is just I didn't set the police station at all, which would have saved me a little bit of resources here and there. Or I set it to the wrong location, sorry. So that's kind of the third mistake that's less troublesome than getting the handcuffs for Akamanto. But at the same time, I mean, I've talked about this before, but talking about whether or not using the handcuffs, as, a few of us World of Horror players do, is a bug or not, because the item says when you use it, and you can use items during an attack turn, so that's not something explicitly forbidden by the game as we get out here. Actually, what do I want to take here? I could take strength if I feel well, might as well now. Yeah, and off we go. But yeah, it's not explicit. It's not like the game, you're actually doing something the game doesn't allow by using an item in the middle of an action sequence. And then the handcuffs themselves say that when you use them, whenever that may be, as long as a human enemy's health is 12 or under, you defeat the enemy. So it's a cool coincidence. Like, technically, if we were able to look into the code, I was kind of flabbergasted because I saw that I rolled a 12 there. But dexterity is 2, so thanks for that. 7th curse, so we lose Ryoko, unfortunately, but we're out here. But yeah, maybe if we look in the code, that's not actually supposed to happen, or it wasn't. It's something that you can do, but depending on who you ask, programming-wise, that can be a bug of sorts, or that you can consider that a bug. I forgot what category of bug it would be in, but you could technically call it a bug. So we need to rest at least once because we need to lose 5 reason. We only have 2. We only have 2 things, but we don't have Takusan, so I don't know why I was so worried about grabbing stuff, but what we can do is still rest once, but we need to remember our second encounter and our second mystery. Yeah, because otherwise we will, well, at least a second mystery. I think we're okay here. I do need to rest once, though. So, yeah, we don't really need anything here. I mean, to feel cool, I will take the brick and the handcuffs, but we should be okay here. Even with the mistakes I've made. So, again, I mean, there is something to be said in, you know, the more a developer or whoever is in charge of the decision-making process decides to increase the difficulty of a game, whether it be number tweaks, whether it be adding, you know, making an enemy tankier by adding more HP, I don't remember at all. Whether it is adding mechanics that just make something harder, there is a kind of a limit there. Am I just actually dead here? Oh, branded proc, that's why I'm dying. Well, forgot about that, but okay, so I did die, but still. I got as far as I did on that. That's kind of surprising to me. But we do want to do a second run. It's already been 20 minutes, but we're not, you know what? For fun, we could try to moving fast. 7th curse again. You know what? I'm just going to say World of Horror. We'll set random item stats, though. And away we go. Yeah, from now on, I should probably set, like, and that was with 7th curse, so theoretically speaking, I would have lost more Doom. But for the moment, my body, as we get into a Zal, because I don't add timestamps in the middle of videos like this. A Zal World of Horror Haru, well, it didn't make as much difference. I kind of waited until the screen appeared anyway to say everything, but knowledge, strength, blah blah blah, and charisma. So 2 reason, 3 stamina. We should have 8 strength, but we do have every, you know, the things that I usually need to remember: second mystery, second encounter, and thingy. But if we got the second encounter right in the last run, we would have been fine. That's how, again. This all started off what I should just say out loud, because I probably didn't say it. You can make as many mistakes as I do and still be perfectly fine on Harbinger. Now, you do need to know what you're doing to some extent, at least, but if I'm floundering around like this and I'm still getting to nearly the top of the lighthouse, at least some of the time, yeah, it's not as bad as it can be. And that led into the topic of... We're probably just going to run from things here. 10 experience immediately. That's bad RNG. That ties into the thing of, you know, the harder a developer makes a game, there is kind of a threshold, objectively, number-wise, in how much... In how... How do I phrase this? That allows, I guess, in one way, the degree of error that you can make, but also, you know, at a certain point, there's a threshold of being able to survive something, as in not. So... Essentially, if you added another type of endless mode in World of Horror, you could say, you know, if enemies keep doing 1 damage every mystery, like they get in 1 damage increase every mystery, you know, is it possible to still survive? It is, and again, there's some RNG involved, at least in this specific instance. But in other games like action roguelikes, action games, shooters, especially those that are PvE, or single-player experiences... Those can be not mitigated, but those depend on the player's skill level. Yeah, we would still run from this kind of, so I don't really mind. And yeah, those depend on the player's skill level. Whereas in World of Horror, it's more dictated by the numbers. I mean, I think there are other nuances here, but I'm trying to think off the top of my head. This is kind of a stream of consciousness. What am I trying to say? Commentary. But I don't think I'm wrong about this. If I am, feel free to try and correct me. If I am, feel free to try and persuade me otherwise, or just persuade me otherwise. And trying sounds like a bit disingenuous here, but you get what I'm saying. There's a certain point at which a player is unable to do something for to simplify it, but there are kind of details and nuance that goes into, you know, whether or not a game being played in a certain way. In this case, when the difficulty keeps getting turned up. However that may be, if it's possible to even, you know, win, basically. We can just take this 3 reason in the face, kind of. No, because the meat cleaver does only 3 damage. That's unfortunate. So I guess we're throwing the meat cleaver instead. And then we can do that. And if you tweak it too hard, then players will not be able to win a game at all. Especially in a game like World of Horror, where, again, there's no... In the general meaning to most people's, at least in the gaming space, in this current point in time, of skill, there's no skill in World of Horror. So, and the times that skill is involved, you usually are supposed to assume that the player can do something like handcuff tech, but if you can't, that does hurt your odds. Just odds in general. Armed sailors, so sailors last. What am I doing? Coma now? I want to take actually Coma last. Do we want sailors now then? Do we flip this around and grab the torch? I think I can, right? Yeah, we're go for it. Keeping in mind we have the experience rule, so we do want to try and level up if possible. Defeating enemies would have certainly helped out, but... And yeah, because we're on Azul, I want to actually tree, most likely. Although this doesn't help, I can't just eat the flashbacks for the moment. We're not planning to use dexterity, so into the vending machine I go. I do want to take a look at that steak, but we'll see. So, I know that when you toss away items at basically the splash ending of the mystery, it doesn't count for the side quest, but does it count if you're... I think it does, because when you're doing other things like your storage, you're still in the thing, right? So, you're still able to do the side quest is what I'm trying to say. But anywho... funny enough, this brick is faster, I think, right? That looks faster. I feel like it's like 70-something at base, so... And, oh, I should actually visit the thingy. I did also forget what mysteries we had, so... Skalma, Sailors, and yeah, so Sailors, I have max threat level Seaside. I'm just gonna brute forward. I'm just going to, you know, Barbarian Brain into the Seaside patrols, but... Otherwise, did I get another pack? Yeah, I did. It went to the Aether, right? And by Aether, I usually... No, Aether means that it disappears because your storage is full, so never mind. Also, cigarettes only cost 3 funds. I should just get all my cigarettes now. But, we'll hope we don't get price hike. So, hey. Otherwise, yeah, we're gonna hope for the best here. We look okay for the moment. But I do need to... It'll probably be the Kendall helmet, because the brick... Oh my goodness, I've seen that event a lot more now, on top of Haru's, I think, personal event. As we immediately run into the thingy-majiggy. This will allow us to level up, so that Azul doesn't absolutely punch our face with like 8% or 9% Doom. This will still hurt, but it's better than the Doom increase, I feel. Now, whether I can do a... Yeah, I couldn't do a strong attack. This is fine, though. Is it fine? No, we want to go for this instead. This could end up badly for us, but hopefully we only go down to like 3 stamina at worst. 50% on 70%, thank you, game. But yeah, as long as we can do this, and the Kendo helmet actually procs once, so when that happens, just lie back and stretch. But unfortunately, I can't do attack prep strong, but we can level up, so core strength, which will help my kicks more. Because for weapons are normally slower than the kick... Well, they are. Just do, like, almost always. Because yeah, having a base speed of even just 70 means that you need, like, your stats at, like, 7 or 8 minimum to even get close to the kick's time unit cost of 55. So basically, because you can fit more attacks with kick, damage increases are a lot better. Threat level is at max again? Was it really? It is. Oh my goodness. Well, hey. Nice luck check, by the way. But anywho, let's toss the Kendo. I know it can proc, but this is a lot more important. Now, is this stronger? No, because the brick is actually... I mean, if nothing else, the torch is a light source, but I guess we'll see. 1, 2, move over to the right. Fire, but we still have the torch. That's a change I can definitely see. Also, is that because of funds, right? Yeah, it is. Whoops, sorry. Basically, we're taking Knight Errant damage at the moment, but I really should have tossed 1 fund away. I forgot about that. That's on me. But again, I can flounder around like this and still be perfectly fine for the moment. So, arms, right? Yeah, arms. We'll do Rama Koma. Ramen Koma? Oh my goodness. Rama Komen. Oh my goodness. Wow. I was trying to say it correctly that last one. Anyway. Ramen Koma. But we'll see what happens. If I want to play it safe... I forgot my second encounter, by the way. If I want to play it safe, I should grab another pack of cigarettes, but a bit too late now, so we'll see what happens. I'm trying to remember what my second encounter was. Did I run into a second encounter? I think I did, right? Because I ran from Vigil, and I fought something. It was whatever I just fought, right? I feel like it was? No, I think I fought something else at Vigil. Well, we're going to find out when we see the names. Because I do know I ran from the doll things. Oh, and then I fought the doll... Nope, the doll nurse was last run. I am going absolutely insane. But anywho, I mean, as we're approaching the end of this video, well, I mean, kind of makes sense. Hey, Doom! But I do want to level up if possible, so we're going to wait till the splash here. Here is a very particular instance, unless I just defeat this Gigolo. But if I hadn't had... If you reach 98% or 98 experience, and you're about to level up, but you're at the last investigation... Well, actually, no, you will still level up there. But, like, when you're as close to this and you're about to end the mystery here... There is a benefit to, on Azul in this specific instance, to investigate another location, even if it isn't the side quest, in this case the hospital, because you can level up and avoid the experience roll just absolutely bodying you. But we're gonna throw this brick. For some reason I feel like this may be fake. Okay, it was actually 10 damage. We'll level up here, and we do need to toss away things. Also, I'm gonna do this. So cigarettes should cost 2 funds now, right? Am I going crazy here? We're gonna find out. No, it was a lie. So I'm gonna drink this bottle of water, and we'll try to save on Doom here. So we're gonna do this. Do we have, unless we have price hike? No, we don't. Instead, we have fumes and flood. So rip, not bath. Rip, resting. But you can. It removes a lot from run, I feel. But if you know what you're doing, it actually is quite safe to do. So we're only gonna lose 1 Doom this time. And let's see what else we have. I think we have like some other curse rule or something, but I don't remember. So, anywho. We lost Bath, so there goes all of our healing pretty much for the run. So, whatever we have is pretty much what we get. 1 injury, yeah. Spells and injuries, but no one really cares. Like, anything but the experience rule and the fund rule. Maybe the ally rule, but you're usually planning before that. Because there aren't, I think, from the, game design perspective, there aren't enough Azal rules to really, think about what might happen during a run, as opposed to, well, as Azal is right now, we probably just want to run here. I could throw the brick and 2-turn this guy, but I need the HP. So, yeah, there aren't enough rules, so you just think of all the rules. So you have the curse rule, injury rule, ally rule, inventory rule, and a lot of these are controllable by the player, and the ones that are not, more so, like curses, curses are harder to remove. Technically, experience, if you're about to do Vigil Recluse and Scissors back to back, those aren't as controllable, but it's been like half of the Azal rules are pretty much negligible, and when they are, even if the game at its current state on Harbinger difficulty, let me keep saying, it's not as bad. Now, I am getting myself killed here, but for the moment, it would have been nice. Guess we just... No, the torch doesn't even sell for anything. Does the brick sell for anything? No. That's kind of unfortunate. Well, hey. 66% chance, by the way, if we assume that there's a 33% chance of the monument asking for stamina, reason, or funds, but I should have known better, but even then, it's not like we have the funds anyway, so I guess we're going to find out. The Cursed Doll is interesting. Unfortunately, we're still going to lose 7 Doom. Unless I visit... So what I could have done here is visit the police station, trade off all my experience, or trade off a good amount of experience. Basically, I could have done some Doom management here, but we're going to lose about 7 experience because you can't level up before this, so... Take 7 Doom in the face. Now, we are on our last mystery. That's good. What's bad is that we might still die to Doom here. But we'll find out. We're going to flounder around. We lost Bath. And into coma I go. So, yeah. Again, ally injury, funds to some extent, but you can throw away funds from the Misery Parasite UI. And even then, it's not enough. Like, usually you're not losing a lot of Doom with most rules. And the ones that are kind of... And the ones that are controllable, you shouldn't lose any, really. And that's all I really have to say. I think there are like a few more rules, but I forget what they are. But in any case, there's a little bit more... The way I remember it is that I know that there are a little bit more Azal rules than mysteries. So let me try to remember all of them. Ally status, curses, inventory, experience, funds. I feel like there's one more, and I'm forgetting what it is. Or did I just go over one and I accidentally said... Well, we'll see. I mean, we won't see any more because we have all the rules we're going to be with. Actually, no, now I'm curious, so let me spend about 10 seconds trying to remember. Oh, spells. So there's 7 or 8 rules, and really 6 or 5 of them don't really... They do all have an effect, but the degree of their effects, most of them don't really affect you that much, and even when they do, you don't really have control. Spells you can forget. Well, we might as well go over it as I'm kind of autopiloting here. Spells you can just forget, and they heal you. And most spells are, unfortunately, it's a double feature here where would have been nice. Nice 10 roll, by the way. Spells are mostly useless, and even among those that are hurt by the Azal roll, it's not like it hurts you that bad. Anyway, I think we're dead here no matter what, by the way. The fun rule, having one fund is better than out of funds because the out of funds event exists. Just that's the simple form of it. Experience rule, you do have the police station, but that one is a bit harder to control, I feel. And I guess the main way to control it right now is to make sure you take investigations if you're about to level up, or if you're not about to level up, speed through a mystery, depending. But yeah, I think we're dead no matter what here, though. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're dead no matter what, because we need to heal that much to survive the stamina loss and the reason loss. But no, we have the torch. But you get what I mean. Statuses and curses, it's only one doom, and then on top of that are injuries and curses. You usually want to get rid of a lot of, or some injuries, and the others that you can kind of just live with. I mean, you have Knight Errant. Curses, on the other hand, harder to get rid of, but that's only one doom, so that's one of the few that is less controllable. Unless you're playing Aika, then just, you hope you don't get the curse rule, I guess. But as we take our frustration on losing the run out on Takshi's-san here, does he just collapse here? He does. There's that. Funds, again, you can toss them away or save one for out of funds, unless you want to gamble and to stay at 0 funds and hope you don't get out of funds. Ally rule, you can let go of allies at any moment, and the ones that are really useful, like Kana, you just keep them and take the doom hit, because the doom hit is better than is worse than the damage, or no, it's better than if you didn't have Kana and weren't mitigating damage, along with maybe a few other allies, so on and so forth. And really, that's all I really have to say. I think we took Sailor second, right? So as we die here, let me just complete the thought. So then the inventory rule, you have total control of that. There's not really anything aside from characters who are forced to have an item, I guess, that are going to get penalized by that. But those who do have more advantages than the 2 doom from having an item in their inventory. What else do we have here? Injuries, yeah. You can get rid of them if you really want to, but it actually usually costs more doom to get rid of them. So if you get rid of an injury that's bad, it works out for you either way. If you don't get rid of an injury that you don't need to get away, like it's, oh no, 1 doom, unless you're on like medical history. But again, that's a very niche situation, and even in that case, if you're playing efficiently, you won't get that many injuries usually. But there is an RNG aspect. I talked about the experience rule, I talked about the fun rule, ally, and I think that's about it, because otherwise it's just curses and something else. Why am I inventory rule, and if there's an 8th one, again, they all fit in that line. So yeah, without further ado, thank you for watching. I'll see you later.